So this is another short vlog, and it's about making mistakes. It's quite um, life preachy and self motivational, and something that I'd read and probably gag. So bear with me. I'm bearing with myself. So the first night I stayed in Peru. I stayed in Lima. I had to stay in a hostel because I got to my program one day early because I was coming from South Africa. So I stay in this hostel, and if my memory serves me well, I believe, yeah, I believe you couldn't throw away, you couldn't flush toilet paper in Cape Town down the toilet. I'm trying to think if that is true or not. I can't remember. What I do remember is that in Peru, you're not supposed to flush toilet paper down the toilet. And so this was not the first time I had experienced this because I'm pretty sure I had to do this in Cape Town, but again, unclear. This was not the first time I had to do this, and the first time I had to do this was in Costa Rica. And it's not a big deal. It's just kind of annoying coming from the US and being so used to that one habit. Changing it is a lot harder than you would think it is. And I've heard like people coming from the US to other countries complain about this practice, complain about how it's too much of a hassle to literally throw something somewhere else than it is like to move your hand in one direction, how that's too much of a hassle, and how other countries need to get their sewage and plumbing together and all of this elitist other stuff. I don't have any of those issues. In Nigeria, the toilets don't even flush, so that's where my family's from. anyway, so Anyways, in this hostel in Peru, you're supposed to throw your toilet paper in the trash. So I wake up in the morning and I'm super, super groggy and super tired because I had just traveled from Cape Town to Joburg, from Joburg to Sao Paulo, from Sao Paulo to Lima, gotten there like 1 in the morning, and then ended up in this hostel. And I was so tired. So I wake up at this hostel in Lima and I go to use the bathroom, as I'm sure most people do when they wake up in the morning. So I go to use the bathroom and I'm giving myself a pep talk because I'd read this sign on the bathroom door the night before. I read the sign that said throw toilet paper in the trash. And I'm giving myself a pep talk and I'm talking badly about all these American elitist tourists who think they're too good to throw their toilet paper in the trash, who think that's disgusting. I'm berating them in my head. I'm having a fictional conversation in which I'm cursing these people out in my head. I'm having this conversation. I'm priding myself on being so accepting. I'm priding myself on being so environmentally friendly. I'm priding myself on being so culturally sensitive because I'm going to throw my toilet paper in the trash can on the first try. This is a literal conversation I'm having in my head to give you, I guess this gives you a big snapshot of my personality. So I'm having this conversation in my head. I finish using the bathroom, and the first thing I do is throw the toilet paper into the toilet. I don't even realize until after I flush it. And I'm like, I tried so hard. I tried so hard. I was yelling at people in my head. I knew better. Like, I thought about this like 5 minutes before I even went to the bathroom. And I'm so mad at myself because what if the toilet clogs because of me? What if someone else uses the bathroom and then they have plumbing problems because of me? What if the hospital has to pay for my damage? What if somewhere down the block someone has a blockage because of me? And I'm thinking all of these awful things in my head. And I'm so mad at myself because I was literally having a fictional conversation with people in my head, telling them how they need to do better for not throwing the toilet paper in the trash. And then the first thing I do is throw my toilet paper in the toilet. So I follow a lot of like BOPO, body positivity accounts on Instagram, and a bunch of other like people on Quora who are always really uppity and telling you to look on the bright side of life. Oops. I'm back, sorry. My roommates traveled to Chefchaouen, which is a city in the north of Peru, and they came back, and that was my roommate Erin that was calling in the in the former half of this video. Yeah, so anyways, I follow a lot of Bopo accounts on Instagram and a bunch of other core people who are always talking, just really people who just have such a better outlook on life than me, who are always saying like, if you make a mistake, don't worry, I've made so many mistakes in life and I've done all this horrible stuff and look at me, I'm thriving now. People who just were just made in a different way than God made me because I'm a lot more self depreciating. Anyways, so you always hear this adage, like, if you make a mistake, don't worry. Like, if you go through, like, if you make a mistake twice or something, or if you, I don't know, have an error in your ways, it doesn't mean, as long as your heart was in the right place and you were trying not to do it, it doesn't matter. Just keep moving. And I get that. Like, again, it's another one of the things I get intellectually, but don't like, but didn't actually get. And I was like, yeah, like maybe this is just a nice thing you tell to people so they don't feel bad when they're being idiots. This is how I talk to myself, which is problematic. So, they don't feel bad when they're being idiots. And it's a good thing to tell children, because then, so they can keep living their lives instead of wallowing in despair when they can't do something. But like, in reality, a mistake is like a pretty serious thing. This is what I thought. Like, a mistake is pretty serious, and it doesn't matter if your heart was in the right place, because, like, I mean, you made a mistake. That's like a mar. That's like a mark against you. Like, you can move past the mark, yeah, but like it's still a mark, quite visible. And this is like how I thought. So when I would read these quotes that were saying, like, if you make a mistake, as long as your heart was in the right place, as long as you were trying your hardest, like, it really doesn't matter. That's how people learn. I was like, all right, whatever, until this one morning when I threw the toilet paper in the toilet after my whole pep talk nonsense I did before that. And that was the moment that it clicked. Now, you'd think it would have clicked with learning Spanish before this, because that's just a cesspool of mistakes that I move forward. But I think one of the reasons that I struggle so much in Spanish is because of this mentality that I have practically and not intellectually, in that a mistake is a mar against your record. Doesn't matter if you move past the mistake, it's still a glaring mistake. So maybe I'm trying to like change that now. But until this moment when I threw the toilet paper in the toilet, this is what I thought. And the second I did that, I was like, oh, this is what these people mean when they say, as long as your heart was in the right place, as long as you were trying as hard as you can, as long as you knew better, as long as you educated yourself, as long as you blah 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 blah, a mistake is just forget about it. I was like, this is what they mean, because my whole entire being meant to throw that toilet paper in the garbage can. Like, the universe knows, he knows that I meant to throw it in the garbage can, and it just went in the toilet, and it just got flushed into the Peruvian drainage system, and I felt really bad about it, but like, that was not my intention. And so now, going forward, whenever I make a mistake, I try to think, okay, what was your mindset, Victoria? What was your intention before you made this mistake? And if your intention slash mindset was in the right place, then you can forgive yourself of the mistake. Mistakes are how people learn. They're literally how people learn. And I'm trying to like teach myself, mistakes are how people learn. Mistakes are how people learn. I love learning, so I'm supposed to make mistakes. So this is what I learned from my hostel experience in Lima. Fun fact about my hostel experience in Lima. So the neighborhood slash section of Lima, it's like a neighborhood, but it's also like its own province, unclear, named Callao. In my last video, I was saying Callao because it was about Argentina, but in Lima, it's Callao. So the district named Callao is actually not a good part of Lima. It's quite dangerous if you're in the wrong parts of it, especially near the airport. And that's exactly where I got my hostel, because I'm thinking, I want to be closest to the airport. I don't want to have to travel when I get there at like 12, 1 in the morning, which was great because I was dead, 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 and my Spanish was shot when I got there. So that was awesome, but I didn't realize how dangerous of a place I was in until the next morning, when I was like, I wonder, this neighborhood I'm in, like, I'm in Lima, so it's about time I start learning something about Lima. So tap, tap, tap on my, on my computer, Callao, and I'm reading these TripAdvisor reviews of like native Limeños saying they would never stay in a hotel or hostel near the airport in Callao. And I was like, yay! Me with my broken Spanish and my gringa naivety decided to just shack up in like the most dangerous part of Lima, but fitting of my personality, honestly. The hostel was fine. Like, I obviously didn't die. There were no problems. So I lived. So anyway, so that's the end of that vignette. Just wanted to finish out this video today. And so yeah, next time you make a mistake, think about like where your heart was as you were making the mistake. And if it was in the right place, then I honestly just don't even count it as a mistake. I just count it as a learning practice. So yeah, I hope you have a good rest of your day.